Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a concern, although, what is your name, sir?
Hamilton.
Mr. Hamilton?
I'll be here after the meeting, you want to give your information.
Yes, sir. Although Mr. Hamilton said that he would take my information and he would go back and share this information with Ms. Gaden, I have a great concern because I listened to this gentleman just express how she told him that they would meet the next day and didn't meet. Now, although Mr. Hamilton tried to clean that up and justify that by saying, well, he did say they did meet, that's not the point. The point is she gave him her word that she would meet with him the next day to address these serious allegations. This young man came to meet with her. He was prepared to meet with her, and she didn't keep her word. And ma'am, just because I can see you want to interrupt me, I'm not going to interrupt you. I know how to respect you, and I just want the same thing in return. Because what I find is that we're asked to respect procedure, we're asked to respect all these rules and regulations, but I don't see the same thing from the police nor the council. Ms. Gaden doesn't respect rules and regulations. She told this man she would meet with him the next day. She didn't. And it seems like whenever a council member, a city official, a police officer doesn't follow rules, doesn't follow policy and procedure, an excuse is made. But when we get upset and frustrated, when the public gets upset and frustrated and expresses their frustration with rhetoric, hearing constant rhetoric and justification, the council has the audacity to blame us and try to insinuate, well, we're not being professional, we're not being polite and courteous. After a while, when you're polite and courteous and you continue to get the same results, which are nothing, you're going to get frustrated. You're not going to want to, you're going to skip the niceties and all the politeness because you want some justice and you're tired of getting the runaround. That's what you witness. People are tired of getting the runaround. I don't have any confidence that I'm going to get any results from Ms. Gaden hearing what this young man just said. So he says, leave your information when we're done, and I'll make sure she gets that. I wrote her 2 letters, sent it certified mail. There's no excuse for her already not responding within a 7-month period. Then I write the mayor letting him know the officer you appointed, the city attorney, which I already expressed to him at a council meeting months ago when he first appointed her. I told him that's a conflict of interest. How can you appoint someone who works for the city as a community liaison? Emphasis on the word community. The city administration automatically has a conflict with the community whenever someone from the public makes a complaint about the administration. There's an automatic conflict of interest there. So it's impossible for a city attorney to be fair and impartial and objective because she's going to always try to side with the city. Whether it's worried about civil lawsuits and worried about the city losing money, she cannot be objective. And I explained that to him at the city council meeting, and he said, I said, you should appoint someone who is really a part of the community. A community member should be a community liaison officer. And appoint someone that the community trusts, who we know will make sure some action gets done. The other gentleman, the ex-police officer, said it's about action. All I hear is rhetoric. Every time we come here, rhetoric, rhetoric, rhetoric. And it's be patient. It takes time. When are we going to get some action, some justice? So I don't have any confidence that she's going to do anything. I'm going to leave my information. In fact, I will add this. I spoke to a reporter when all of this was going on and we were marching. And I emphasized to that reporter, Mayor Cahill now saying he's appointing some community liaison. It's a city worker, an actual city attorney. There's a conflict of interest. She said, so you're not going to try to utilize it? I said, oh, no, ma'am, I'm smarter than that. I'm going to utilize it and prove how ineffective it is and prove it's just a gimmick that he put in place as a matter of expediency while the protests were going on. So I did that. And it's been 7 months and I've gotten no response. There is no justification she can give for not responding in 7 months to 2 requests. So I don't really care what he can take my information back to her, but to me, certain things like the ex-police officer said are common sense. How can you justify not responding to a member of the public when he writes you 2 requests within a 7-month period? You can't justify it. So anything you would say would just be rhetoric, just to try to smooth things over and send me about my way. And that's condescending and insulting to people. We're more intelligent than that. We know when we're being brushed over. I don't need a PhD, I don't need a master's degree to know when I'm being brushed off. So although you may have the nice suits and the nice ties on, and I only have on a sweat jacket, I'm very intelligent and I know when I'm being brushed off. So do the rest of the members of the public. That's why you hear the frustration in our voice. I have no confidence she's going to respond to me, and if she does, it'll be the same response he got. Because even a week later, when she finally did meet with him, he just said he got no real results. And the gentleman made a statement about he doesn't make sweeping indictments. I could concur with that. That's fine. You shouldn't make sweeping indictments. I'm going to make specific indictments. When I sent in, number one, I was arrested in 2010 for obstruction of justice. I defended myself in court and was found not guilty. The officers on the case was Officer Daniel Maison and Officer Brant J. Grieges. Officer Daniel Maison was involved in the fatal shooting of Barry DeLoach. The second case I had was I was illegally searched, snatched out of my car and illegally searched by Officer Brad Burdell, who was the shooter who fatally shot Barry DeLoach, and Officer Rodney Chen. I filed complaints against these officers. Nothing was ever done. Since 2010, I've been pursuing this. Nothing done. So when you say things like, oh, well, from what I know, the police is a good force, and there's just a few bad apples. That's coming from a very, very narrow perspective, because you as city council members won't see the real face of the police. Of course they're going to be nice to you. Of course your interaction with them is going to be nice. You're not on the street at 11 o'clock at night when they interact with the public and they abuse their authority and they abuse the people. So you can't even really give a well-informed and objective opinion about the police, because all you know is the public image they put on there in front of you. The only real objective and clear picture you can get about the police is what they do at 11, 12 o'clock at night, like the lady said, when the police are out there and they're not nice. When they pulled me out of my car and they abused me and they kept me sitting on this freezing cold cement for a half hour straight, only to finally release me and let me go. With no justification, no probable cause. What did you pull me over for? What did you pull me out the car? What did you search me for? What did you search my car for? They had no reasonable explanation. Internal Affairs has been no assistance. In fact, I don't know if this is Lieutenant Miller or not, because I've never seen Lieutenant Miller. But I received one letter from a Lieutenant Miller who told me the matter was being investigated. And then when I responded and was asking what's going on with the investigation, I received one more letter that said something like, the investigation is pending the outcome of your criminal case. Okay. I went to my criminal case, which was November 9, 2011, and I won. So if I'm found not guilty of obstruction of justice, that means the officers lied on me. That's common sense. What else do you need to determine that they lied on me? But in the case with Brad Burdell, you searched me for a half hour. You keep me sitting on the cement. They say, oh, well, there's no evidence proving that. I do an OPA request. I get a copy of the dispatch communication. The dispatch communication, they said they had me on the, the police claim they only had me out of the car for 5, no, they said they never did a search, and they only stopped me for 5 minutes. So they actually denied searching me and said they only stopped me for 5 minutes. Yet, when I get the copy of the audio dispatch, it's 32 minutes long. So if you only held me for 5 minutes and released me, how is the audio CD 32 minutes long? It's because you kept me there for 30 minutes, like I said, on the ground while they searched. I sent all this evidence to Lieutenant Miller. All this is in Internal Affairs' hands. They have copies of all of this. There's only one conclusion that can be reached. And in an Internal Affairs investigation, it's about the preponderance of the evidence. So it's not even about, I don't have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Because, of course, everyone will try to take up for the police and say, well, we understand what you're saying, but no, you haven't proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The officers deny. Well, you can't deny something like, well, why is that CD 32 minutes long? Why are you communicating with deep dispatch for 32 minutes long if you let me go in 5 minutes? And if you didn't search me, what am I there that long for? There's no way around that. So anybody can see that. A blind man can see that. So that only leaves a cover-up. It's obvious to everybody. And that's why people are frustrated. I know that's why I'm frustrated. And that's why everybody else is frustrated. Then I come here to try to get some results, and all I get is rhetoric. In the end, what are you going to do to assist me?
Well, I just want to address something before you start.
Yes, ma'am.
When I said that sometimes people, you come in here looking for an answer when it's the first time that we hear about a case, that we hear about a situation, and you want to hear right away that we get an answer. We don't have the details.
But you know this is not the first time I've been here.
I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking in general.
Yes, ma'am.
In general. So that's what I meant when sometimes we have to follow the procedure. In your specific case, I don't know all the details. I know you have been here before. I know that you have met with Ms. Gaten or you have done your part.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have been letters. I cannot answer for Ms. Gaten to see why she has not answered to us those letters. It concerns me that she did not, but I don't know what the situation is. So we will need to address that with her. Okay, I'm not dismissing the fact that you sent those letters. It's just that I cannot give you a comment when I don't know the situation, what happened. Did she ever get the letters? You have proof that she did. Did she send you back, to an act? So I don't know. So I just wanted, but I'm not disputing what you said. I'm just saying that we need to make an informed decision. We need to have all the information. But it does concern me that she has not answered your letters. But I cannot answer for her. That's why I asked Mr. Hamilton to follow up, to see what happened, because there should have been an answer. Something needs to be said to you why that didn't happen.
Now, if she does respond, but she doesn't do anything to assist me, what is my recourse? What will you do to assist me? Because I don't believe she's going to assist me. Let me just make this point. From my study on what the role of the community liaison is, Mayor Cahill appointed a community liaison officer, and there's supposed to be a judge, and there's supposed to be a hearing that's set up to review the evidence and have some sort of hearing on the matter. That's what I want. That's what's supposed to happen.
So it's another judge, somebody else that is...
No, I know, I don't remember the judge, but I'm saying that's the process. That's what's supposed to happen. And it seems to me, I already know my case will be proven. And personally, it seems to me like my case is being deliberately avoided because they know it's a provable case where I can meet, the only thing I have to meet is a preponderance of the evidence, which I have.
So let's do this, let's follow up, let's follow up and find out what happened, why that didn't happen, why she didn't answer to you, and then let's take it from there, okay? One second.
I just want to know if she does not assist me, because I have no confidence that she will. What recourse do I have? That's all I need to know, and I'll sit down.
Judge Hammond, the entire judge, is the hearing officer that would be employed if this matter goes to a hearing. And he would hear the matter and render at least an advisory opinion of the matter.
But what I'm saying is, if she doesn't set me up for the hearing, because she seems to be not wanting, after 7 months, I don't think she wants me to make it to a hearing because she knows I'm proving my case. And I told you I already believe she has a conflict of interest. She doesn't want this to go forward. So what do I do if she doesn't assist me? That's what I'm asking.
And the process is there, the process doesn't work, then come back to us.
Yes, ma'am. I want to come back to you personally, because you seem to be the one focused on at least not being dismissed. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. In the back.